If you knew there was only one thing you'd need to be successful with video, wouldn't you want it? But what if that thing was something you just can't do, which is true for probably 99% of people? On today's Visible Authority, we rip the veil off a completely opaque skill that almost nobody has and that almost everybody could use. You can just about guarantee your success on video if you can use a teleprompter with skill. This actually involves 4 separate skills that need to come together in a very special way to make the magic. Where someone sees your video and says, "Oh, I'm glad she isn't selling anything because I'd have to buy it whether I needed it or not." So I'm going to tell you about the 4 skills now, and I'd like you to keep an open mind. This may not be easy to hear. All right, the first is acting, of a sort. You have to be willing to see down into your soul and portray that. Now, even though we all do the portrayal thing every day without thinking about it, only actors are required to access certain emotions, not be seized, directed, or otherwise controlled by them, which is the very definition of this awful thing most call be yourself. And yet all that is, usually, is the ego that destroys people all over the world. Here's the thing. We play roles in life. It's natural. It's how we deal with everyone in our life. Find the role for you on camera and you're golden. The second skill is the ability to read. How nimbly would you be able to scan scrolling text while delivering a strong emotional appeal? The skill of reading is a completely different kind of skill than portraying an emotion. You know, it's kind of like this. Most of us take for granted our reading ability. Then when confronted with the prompter, we freeze up because we suddenly realize we're over our skis. And yet, I have a dyslexic private client who's amazing at reading a teleprompter. So I know it can be learned. But you have to be motivated. The third skill is projecting your emotions. It's not enough to have them. You have to be able to transfer them, which means summoning up enough emotional energy to get them through the energy barrier in the camera lens. Nobody seems to know how to do that. Oh, sure, they know how to pitch, but real emotion? When was the last time you saw something like that? This is not an especially difficult skill, though. There's a simple exercise that can get you most of the way there. It's in this video. Which leads us right to the final skill, writing. I mean, if you could do all the rest of it through sheer force of will, you will still have to be able to write it out the way you naturally talk, which I think most people would love to do, except that they've been trained to use words as though they were concealed weapons, a strange kind of robotic corporate speak that then extends tragically into their personal lives. So can this sterile language be unlearned? The evidence would suggest this is difficult. Instead, this corporate speak infects the scripts, and those are then inflicted on the rest of the world. It's a mess. It makes me wonder sometimes if there isn't something to this idea of talent. Most people just don't have the patience to learn something new. We're all like this. People like me just found we enjoyed stuff like this early in our lives. That's really all they mean when they say the word talent. It's love's gift to be attracted to certain activities. So can writing in the vernacular be learned? Well, sure it can, but you really have to want it. Of course, you don't need it. You don't need this to be successful, but boy, it sure makes life easier. It's really nice to be able to write something that moves someone, that attracts someone, that sells something with you in the frame or outside the frame, because emotion is carried in the voice as well. So if you're a bit of a nut like my clients and I, you just might enjoy it, and enjoy it enough to get really good at it. So I would invite you to take some highly regarded free training on teleprompting, which is right over at the website. And if you'd like personal help, there's the partnership program. I don't always have availability, but we always take applications. I hope this gave you some clarity. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Visible Authority.